The story starts with an old man lying on his deathbed, and he says to the readers that he is an earthling, an inhabitant of a civilized world. A little girl who is sad then comes to him with food. Her mother sent her to bring it to the old man. This old man is called Seo. She places the food near the dying old man, and he thanks her for bringing the food. She hopes the old man can get well soon and make soap for them. The little girl then leaves Old Man Seo's house. Old Man Seo continues his story. He is an earthling, an inhabitant of a civilized world. 50 years. It's been 50 years since he fell into this damned world. He and his coworkers were on their way to their company workshop when they were suddenly swept up by a landslide and woke up in a strange world. In this world, they came across a giant fox with 3 tails, a 2-headed red snake, and strange men who can fly. They had fallen into the world of Xianxia novels he used to read from time to time. Despite that, he knew his coworkers would live better lives than everyone else, except for him. The sage-like beings who descended from above were in awe of his coworkers' mystical talents and took each one of them into the sky. Only Seo and another coworker called Director Kim remained in this world. To be honest, they had their hopes that something special would happen to them too, but Director Kim and him didn't have any special abilities. Without knowing much about this new world, all they could do was manual labor. And 6 months later, Director Kim told him he couldn't live like this any longer and used all his money to buy a third-rate martial arts book sold on the streets. Within 3 months, he mastered it and became a full-fledged martial artist. He worked for the nation and learned martial arts that were more and more advanced. After he became a powerful warrior, he left for the Jianghu, leaving Seo behind. Seo wondered if something special could happen to him as well. But until the end, nothing happened to him at all. Bro was just brought to this world to suffer. After 50 years, he is now just an old man dying from common cold. As he coughs out blood, he keeps muttering to himself, "I am from Earth." He tried his hardest to live. He learned the language and how to write, made a living, bought a small plot of land, and built his own house. He started making some decent money when he began making soap using lye. In this equivalent of medieval China, soap was essentially a new concept. However, even that ended after thieves stole his soap recipe and their thugs booted him out of the market. Now he is waiting for his death, having been refused by this world. Seo begins to cry, muttering to himself again, "What do you want me to do?" Even though he tried his hardest, what must he do? On his deathbed, Seo cries at how his life turned out. Why couldn't he have been selected, even if he is not special? Why does he have to continue having things taken away from him? He no longer has the energy to keep his eyes open. If he just had a bit more power, maybe he might have had more opportunities. And just like that, the main character of the story died. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more great videos like this. Just kidding, a bright light appears, and the main character opens his eyes again, and he sees the sky once again. He is stunned to find himself alive. He wonders why he is still alive, and these clothes that he is wearing are the same clothes he wore back on Earth. Before him lies all his previous co-workers, who are also wondering where the hell they are. His eyes widen as he finally realizes that he didn't come to this world without powers. He gained the power of regression. And this is his first regression story. Manager Kim is confused as to what's going on cause they were just on a company trip. Seo knows that today is the first day they fell into the strange world. While they were in their SUV, they suddenly got swept up by a landslide. He saw a bright light when the landslide happened. Honestly, it's hard for him to remember what happened 50 years ago. While still in deep thoughts, someone calls him, Manager Seo, from behind. He wonders what he should do now that he has regressed. Most regression stories start with abusing future information, but all he knows is how to make soap. One of his co-workers grabs him and shouts out his name. Before Seo can explain anything, the impatient guy punches him in the face. All the other co-workers are shocked by this. The guy calls Seo a fucking idiot for dozing off while driving on a mountainside. He almost got them killed. Seo is stunned for a moment, since it has been a long time since he heard that title. and he couldn't tell the other guy was referring to him. The guy threatens to fire CO when they get back. This son of a bitch is Section Chief John Myung-hun. He is the nephew of John Myung-chul, a managing director at the company he worked at. He's a lucky bastard who became a section chief at the age of 23 through nepotism. Another co-worker called Chief O tries to calm the section chief down, explaining that CO couldn't avoid the landslide no matter what he did. But the bastard wouldn't listen and keeps blaming CO for dozing off, which has led to the current predicament. CO, as he is standing up, thinks to himself that he was definitely dozing off. But the reason he did was because the section chief John handed his work over to him, and that is why he had to stay up late. Incompetence Nepo babies are just worse. Moreover, John was supposed to be in charge of driving. The Nepo baby is still going on about CO, and how them being stranded is his fault. CO recalls his memories from 50 years ago. Back then, he was still so shocked that he apologized to the Nepo baby because he thought he was in the wrong. Then he went on to spend the next 50 years just apologizing to people, even when a group of bandits trampled over him and took his belongings, when a damn martial arts mocked him, or when regional official to everything he had in the name of taxes. He kept apologizing. But there was one thing he realized after the years of keeping it in. Sure, he has to keep his temper in front of those that he can't handle. But for the rest, he tells the Nepo baby that he knows that he's mad, but now it's not the time to be pointing fingers. He gets furious that CO talked back to him and prepares to punch him again. He manages to punch him again. And CO looks at him with a, "Oh, you are so dead" look. He doesn't need to kneel down to someone he can't handle. And for the first time, the loser finally punches his abuser back, and everyone is surprised at his audacity. He punches the Nepo baby again. In his past life, he has been beaten up by martial artists countless times. He was beaten up by bandits while getting herbs in the mountains, by more bandits during years of a bad harvest, and even by officials because he couldn't pay his taxes. He pins the Nepo baby to the ground and delivers several combos on him. The rest of their co-workers just stand by and watch in shock. I know some are thinking to themselves that it's about damn time. In this world of violence, he was able to gain something that the rest of his co-workers lacked, which is violence. If one hits someone in the eyes, their fear is amplified. After being beaten up like this, only 2 words instinctively leave their mouth. "I'm sorry." CO may not have the mystical talents mentioned by those transcendent individuals or amazing martial arts that would make him famous in the world of martial arts. But he does have the ability to change fate. As the Nepo baby is trembling in fear, their co-workers ask how CO can do that to his own colleague. CO apologized to his co-workers if they were shocked. He just got so angry there for a moment. He bows and also apologizes for the accident since he was the one driving. He knows he will not see these people again until he dies anyway. Director Kim knows that the Nepo baby was being a bit harsh, so CO couldn't really help himself. But even then, CO overreacted and should apologize to the Nepo baby directly. CO knows he will continue seeing Director Kim, unlike the rest, so he should listen to his words. After all, Director Kim will become one of the strongest martial artists there is once he gets to learning. If he supports Director Kim as much as he can in this life, he is sure he will get something out of it too. That means he needs to get on his good side now. CO quickly goes to apologize for his actions and help the Nepo baby up. The Nepo baby tries to lash out again, but a stern look from CO helps to keep the Nepo baby in check. Sometime later, Director Kim suggests they try to get out of the woods and look for a village nearby. CO knows it is a logical thing to do, but common sense has no place in this world. Here, immortals fly wild, trying to secure their immortality, and the only rule that reigns in this land is the strong devour the weak. Happy with this place, the Murim will fight with swords for wealth and honor. The current forest therein is called Ascension Path. There is no village, city, or nation anywhere around here. CO informs Director Kim that the sun is going to set soon, so why don't they set up shelter somewhere safe? Director Kim agrees and asks about the car. There are quite a lot of things in there that need to be packed for the workshop. CO thinks it's a shame, but they wouldn't be able to find a car. But even if he says that, they wouldn't believe him, so he would just let them look for the car instead of wasting his energy trying to convince them. He asked for them to split up, one team to look for shelter and the other to look for the car. Why don't they get back here before it's completely dark? After the sun went down, they managed to find a cave and set up a campfire. One of the female co-workers tried to make sense of what happened to the car they were in when the landslide occurred. How'd they end up here while the car is gone? They all don't get it either. As they eat the food CO provided, Director Kim praises him for being dependable and diligent, even when they were back in the company. He knows he was tired while driving because he had to work late yesterday, too. Another pretty female worker praises CO for being really diligent. And the other pretty female workers also thanked him for finding the cave. It seems bro is going to have a harem in this life, with the way these ladies are crushing on him hard. CO remembers that in their past life, they found this place only after being lost in the woods for hours. He tells everyone that he just got lucky. He smiles and tries to enjoy this moment, because tonight will be the last moment they can laugh like this. Early the next morning, CO is trampling with fear. He seems to be talking to something or someone, and he is saying he offers his greeting to the Lord of the Forest. The three-tailed fox, standing in front of CO, says to CO that he has a very unique scent for a human. Despite his really old age, he has never smelled humans like him before. As CO is bowing and begging for his life, a female coworker comes out of the cave to see what is happening. She screams when she notices the big fox, and her shout alerts the rest. But CO quickly asks for them to show some manners to the Lord of the Forest and get on their knees. The wolf explains that every time he comes across human beings, he is reminded of how foolish and rude they are. He would usually rip off all their limbs, but since one of them seems to know how to treat him, he shall forgive them. With that being said, they must pay the price for being on his territory. If one of them offers him an arm, he will let them stay here. CO knows this because in his past life, everyone saw the beasts and screamed in panic. They all ended up dead having the fox. But it seems like the fox appreciates his manners this time. The fox asks who will give him their arm. CO is glad it's not their limbs like the last time. Just one person, that's all they need to sacrifice. Even a lost arm will be healed by the cultivators who will appear 2 days later. Plus, he has already prepared an herb. They reduce the pain. CO stretches out his arm. Everyone is shocked. The fox explains that CO knows his manners. He will try to make it as painless as possible in return. The fox opens its mouth and bites off CO's arm. I honestly thought the fox would spare him if he offered it willingly. His co-workers look away from the growling scene, and CO quickly picks up the herb. He prepared to reduce the pain, and he quickly eats it since losing an arm is painful after all. The fox then says that he thought he might taste different since he smelled different, but he tastes the same as the other humans. Actually, he tastes worse because of all the impurities in his veins. What an ungrateful animal. If you don't like your meal, just split it out and stop complaining. CO apologizes to the fox for not being tasty and good enough for the fox. He realizes that the herb helped a lot with the pain. The fox decides to allow them to stay for 7 days in his territory, and thanks to his divinity, CO won't die. After saying this, the fox flies away, and CO's co-workers come to him to check up on his condition. He asks them to head inside the cave so he can explain what is going on to them. He explains that he met the fox when he left the cave early this morning, and the fox told him that this world is the Murim world. Everyone is shocked that they are in the Murim world. Honestly, they could have never imagined something like this ever happening to them. CO continues to explain that because he gave up his arm as an offering, they will be safe for a week. And Director Kim asks what will happen after that. CO tells them that then they will need to give up something else. CO starts feeling sleepy after losing his arm and a lot of blood and tells them that he's going to rest for a bit. At night, CO is awoken by the voices of his co-workers speaking outside the cave. And they seem to be talking about CO. Someone is trying to convince the other co-workers to use Manager CO as a scapegoat, but the other refuse. Manager CO sacrificed his arm to save them. Someone asks the other coworkers if they don't want to use manager CEO as a scapegoat, then who wants to give up their arm and leg in a week? One person points out that manager CEO is still very useful. He is the one who provided them food and shelter. And the Nepo baby says, if that is the case, they'll learn as much as they can from him in a week. Since he has lost an arm already, he won't last long anyway. That's why they should have him be the sacrifice again. It turns out the Nepo baby is the one trying to encourage the others to use manager CEO as a scapegoat. What a scumbag. CEO silently stares at them. He thinks that, so now that he has become debilitated, the Nepo baby wants to chop off one of his limbs every week to give to the fox. He picks up a rock nearby and stares at the Nepo baby. With the violence he has learned from being beaten up for 50 years, he can easily kill a modern-day man like the Nepo baby with one arm. As he continues to silently stare at the Nepo baby, he wonders if he should kill him. But he quickly dismisses that idea and puts the rock down. What a coward. He goes back into the cave. The fear surely must have just paralyzed their minds. If he acts too cruelly right now, it'll cause issues with his relationship with Director Kim. He hears someone telling the Nepo baby to shut the fuck if he doesn't want his ankles to break again. CEO rests assured after hearing that. He knows that they are good people. This is just a confusing situation for everyone. The next day, unlike the fox who ate manager CEO's arm, the two-headed snake only requested a small amount of blood. It's the very same snake that sucked out Chief O's blood who'd lost his limbs in the last life. In this life, too, Chief O put his own arm forward this time for the snake to have a small amount of blood. After tasting the blood, the snake spits it out, calling it the worst human blood it had ever had, and it slithers away. CEO knows that the blood of a 21st century worker is drenched in nicotine and cholesterol, so no wonder it'd taste gross. He turns and asks Nepo baby to come with him to pick some herbs. Nepo baby gets angry at CEO for calling him by his full name, and CEO asks if he is not hungry. Yes, the Nepo baby replies. CEO says to him that he will tell him about the fruits and edible herbs, so he should follow him. CEO tells him again that he plans to give another arm to the fox next week as well. If he dies, someone needs to know how to survive in this forest. The Nepo baby accepts his idea and thanks CEO. But CEO knows that the fox won't be coming back, and he will never make use of the knowledge. Sometime later, while the two are alone deep in the forest, CEO is busy yelling at the Nepo baby to stop picking the wrong fruits. He needs to concentrate. Those fruits he is picking will get him killed. CEO continues to yell at the Nepo baby, harshly reprimanding him if he made the slightest mistake. He makes the Nepo baby dig the ground, and when he gets tired and asks for a break, CEO tells him that they need to finish before dusk, so he should hurry up. CEO thinks that this is how the Nepo baby used to punish him when he first entered the company. After some time had passed, he managed to dig out a huge ginseng. The Nepo baby is surprised at how massive the plant is. CEO knows this plant resembles ginseng, but to be precise, it's a yellow bamboo root. It might be because the ascension path is so full of energy, but yellow bamboo roots, which are typically as small as a pinky finger, grow to this size here. It won't be of much use to cultivators, but it's an extremely precious medicine for martial artists that's used to increase chi. It should help Director Kim. CEO informs the Nepo baby that there are two more around. The Nepo baby excitedly asks if it's okay to dig up a lot of wild ginseng. CEO responds yes. Now he wants him to take off his shirt and place them in it. When the sun starts setting, CEO thinks to himself that it is almost time and tells the Nepo baby that they should start heading back to the cave. At nighttime, there are several clashes happening in the sky. The energy is so powerful that some of CEO's co-workers start screaming in pain. Director Kim, who is confused, asks, what's wrong with them? Suddenly up in the sky, 3 people appear in the sky. One of them is surprised that they will find such uncut talent here. Another tells him to be gone because they are his. Director Kim asks who are these people, but they just ignore him and continue their conversation. The one in black notices that only those 3 on the ground have spiritual roots, The rest are just normal mortals. The one in a golden outfit prepares an attack and releases it on the Nepo baby, to everyone's shock. He is excited to know that the Nepo baby has the body of heavenly golden thunder. The one in black also decides to test the chosen ones. He plays his instrument, and one of the female co-workers screams in pain after hearing the sound. He also gets excited that she has a ghostly transforming immortal root. To think such a thing really existed. The muscle one approaches Chief O and tests him. To no one's surprise, Chief O also has a unique body. The unique holy body, the muscular one, is surprised such a body could exist. He plans to take all three of them with spiritual roots as his disciples of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. All three of them have the talent to change the entire world. So what does Chief O think about that? Chief O is terrified to the point he can't breathe properly because of the force the muscle man is emitting. He feels like he'd die if he refused. The one wearing black tries to persuade him to join the Black Ghost Valley instead. They have every cultivation method, immortality, and the power to overturn the heavens. Fame and wealth. He will ensure that Chief O gets all of those things within 100 years. The Golden One also wants him to join the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect too. Director Kim asks for these men's help to get out of the forest cause they might die at this rate. But as usual, he is ignored. These people just don't care about anyone else, aside from those three chosen ones. The Golden One opens up some sort of bottle and uses it to suck the Nepo baby into it. He also wonders how mortals like them ended up on the ascension path with such a worthless body. The Muscle One picks up Chief O and notices that Co gave up one of his arms to the fox, and he regenerates his arm back for him. He tells Co that even though he is a mere mortal, he's got a lot of guts. And Co thanks the cultivator for the compliment. The cultivators each take one disciple, and as they are leaving, they inform the rest that they captured all the beasts and monsters of the ascension path on the way here, so we'll be safe here for the next 10 years. Director Kim screams after them a hold on, cause they don't even know which way to go to leave. But the cultivators were long gone by then, and just like that, 3 of Co's co-workers were kidnapped by cultivators. Co thinks that the same thing happened 50 years ago. No matter how hard they shouted, they ignored them like insects and continued on their way. But on the bright side, they healed his arm. As they are wondering what to do in a forest like this, they see shooting stars in the sky, all heading in the same direction. The next day, a big storm happened in the forest, in the cave, where those left behind were staying, and a female co-worker was coughing out blood. And the other woman taking care of her was extremely worried about her condition. She asked Co if there was some kind of herb they could use to cure her. Co coldly tells her to wait a little longer. Someone might appear and heal her. And right on cue, from the shadows, a man walked out and was surprised to find mortals. Mortals on the ascension path are like ants suffering among the competition between dragons. Director Kim asks who this man is. The man smiles and replies that he is the Sea Dragon King, Co Huiol. Drop a like for this video, subscribe to this channel for more updates and the continuation of this story when new chapters drop, and turn on the notifications. Thanks for watching.